Don't reach for the remote, because today Carolina people's going to the street. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the community room at South Carolina Bank and Trust in Murrells Inlet. We're focused on Street Reach Ministries, and we're visiting with its executive director, Libby Faulkner. Good morning, Libby.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for getting in early here, 7 a.m. on a Thursday morning.
Glad to be here.
Very nice to have you. And, of course, this is South Carolina Bank and Trust. What about this place? It's beautiful. It is. And this community room, they open it up to the public to try to encourage folks to come in to have meetings.
That's great.
It is always nice. If y'all are out of space down up there at Street Reach, don't hesitate to give them a call to come down here sometime.
That's always
a nice thing.
Yes.
Street Reach has been in its same location for how many years now, Libby?
We've been there 6 years.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
The location down, is it on 8th Avenue? 9th Avenue?
9th Avenue.
The corner of 9th Avenue and 17th, or
Well,
almost the corner.
Right.
That's right. We used to say that when the Red Bow was operating from that location.
Yes.
The Red Bow Gifts Coffee and Tea there at Nance Plaza, so an easy location to find. And you've been the director for how long?
11 years.
Is that right?
Yes. Sometimes it seems like longer.
Yeah, I understand you're coming up on 12 years.
Yes.
What is it, next month?
Mm-hmm.
Next month.
It's exciting.
It's got to be for you, I'm sure, particularly now that you all are planning on a new location, have a lot going on. I saw a great shot of you and a number of folks out on a site in the Herald recently.
Oh, yes. That has been the most awesome thing. This is something that we have waited for so long, and it's going to happen.
And it really is going to happen.
It is going to happen.
Yeah.
We've broken ground. They're getting the base dirt in place, and they'll start the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
The building is going to be a metal building.
Okay.
And it's going to be beautiful.
And it's going to be located, or it is now under construction, where?
On Osceola and Joe White Boulevard.
I've always wondered how to pronounce that word.
Osceola.
Osceola, that's great. Osceola.
Right.
I know how to spell it. Osceola. And it's the corner. Is it on a corner location?
Actually, it's the back lot. There's a corner lot there, but we have the back acre.
And Mr. Joe White Avenue, the former 10th Avenue.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that is, so if folks drove by there now, they'd see some...
they'd see some activity.
That's fantastic.
And that's exciting. I go by there every day.
Do you really?
Yes.
How did y'all come about that location?
Well, Myrtle Beach City Council had approved several locations for the Unity Village project, which that was good, but all of a sudden it became apparent that someone was interested in helping us get our building, and they found that lot, which Myrtle Beach had already approved of, so that was the beginning.
So City Council and the city has been very supportive on helping make this happen.
Very supportive. We were going with the Unity Village project, and Mr. Ed Jackson came up with an opportunity for us to branch out on our own, and we will actually own the building.
Oh, boy.
when it's all said and done.
That's tremendous. That's a rare opportunity.
Yes, it is. And we're hoping that it's free and clear from anything owed. That we're raising money.
Right.
So that's our goal.
Do you all have now? Have you all have already begun that campaign,
Yes.
as it were? And I'm sure it's even difficult because you all are every day raising
Yes.
funds to maintain your operation. Yes.
Just operate.
So you sure don't want to get anyone in conflict with the normal donations they'd make and continue to operate the Street Reach Ministries.
That's true.
And that can be difficult at times.
It is.
But at the same time, when folks can get in their mind's eye, this new location there on Osceola if they can
And
try to picture
this is an expansion too, so we're going from 5,000 square feet to 20,000 square feet.
Great.
And it's going to be 2-story, and we're going to have a kitchen finally. In all these years, we've never had a kitchen.
So for the 12 year, going on 12 years that you've been with Street Reach Ministries, 6 years in the same location,
Right.
It has not had a kitchen.
It's never had a kitchen.
Oh, Lord.
Never. Yet, we managed to feed 3,000 meals per month.
3,000 a month?
A month.
36,000 meals a year?
Yes.
From y'all's operation, I had no idea the extent of
Yes.
that. That's tremendous.
Churches, individuals do the cooking for us and bring it in. So we're going to have a full kitchen, and actually we'll have a stove.
3,000 a month. That would be about $750 a week. Approximating if it was a 4-week month, which would be $1.25 or so a day. I mean, around that. That's a
Yes,
that's a tremendous figure.
it is.
Yeah, that's really making a difference. When folks, if you were going to talk to a group about Street Reach Ministries for the first time, let's say it was just a group of students. Well, if someone asked you, what is Street Reach Ministries?
Street Reach Ministries is hope. It's a 65-bed shelter for the homeless, a place, an oasis, a place to come to when they're hungry. They have no clothes, they have no money, no job, nothing. They've lost everything. And they haven't eaten in several days. And they walk in the door, and the first thing we do is give them something to eat. Then we try to find out what is wrong. What can we do to help? So it starts there.
That
when they
sure
walk
is
in.
hope. 65 beds.
Right.
How often are the beds full or close to capacity there?
90% of the time.
Is that right?
And two, we have two kinds of programs there.
Okay.
One is we give them an opportunity to find a job. Then we give them 30, 35 days to stay there and save their money. But while they're there, we try to find out why they're homeless. Is it drugs? Is it alcohol? What is it? We have another program, 4 to 6 months of recovery from whatever. We have classes every day. If it's alcohol, drugs, there's AA and NA. And there's a spiritual, we are faith-based. There's a spiritual 12-step that just began today that's going to be really good.
That's tremendous. That just began. That's tremendous. Of course, and so of the 65 beds, how many would be in the, are they broken down of part of them associated with one program, or
Right,
with
yes.
the alcohol and narcotic component?
We've got about 35 beds where the homeless can come in at night, and then we've got about 25 people in a recovery program. They're the ones that actually do the cleaning, what cooking we do, and mopping, whatever, laundry. The people in the recovery program are Street Reach, really. They do the work.
And what's your primary funding right now, Libby? It's obviously constant donations, but is that your primary source of funding?
It's donations. It's churches. It's individuals who have a heart to help the homeless, to help them get jump-started into a better life. And we've had some great successes, and we hope it continues.
Yes, yes.
We know it will.
Absolutely, I know you know it will, and obviously we want to talk about Rocky and his vision many years ago, and of course bring you involved. But if someone needs to get off to work now at around 7:10, 7:15, if someone needs to get off to work now, is there a good phone number that someone could call, or a website that someone could visit, a viewer could visit, to learn more about Street Reach Ministries and y'all's daily effort?
We
to
do
help the
have
homeless?
we do have a website. It's treereachministries.org,
Okay.
and our phone number is 626-3643.
Okay.
We receive donations at our post office box, which is 1075 Myrtle Beach, and donations are welcome.
Yes. P.O. Box 1075,
Yes.
Myrtle Beach, SC 29578.
Yes.
Okay. 29578. 626-3643.
Yes.
Easy phone number for folks to remember.
Right.
Of course, they can write it down now, even if they need to get off to work, or they can
Mm-hmm.
write it down now. And you have folks there. You all have a voicemail if someone called. And
24/7. There's someone on the telephone.
is that right?
Yes.
Well, I guess in a mission component like that, where you all are reaching out to folks who would come in off the street, so the doors are essentially open
Always
24/7.
been closed one time in 11, 12 years,
Wow.
and that was on Thanksgiving Day. We closed up one time.
One time.
Mhm.
And that hasn't happened since then.
No.
That's fascinating. So churches obviously reach out, and it is.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all are non-denominational.
Non-denominational.
Mhm.
We have the 501c3 for
Mhm.
corporate donations. We love those.
Yeah, that's right. You can still call if you're a company or work at a company or know
Right.
somebody who'd be able to find a way.
Mhm. We are a nonprofit by the state of South Carolina, and we receive FEMA funds, but no other government funding.
Is that right?
So
Now, you talked about the city stepping in to help get some working on the
Yes.
piece there on Osceola.
I've been informed that the city council voted to help us with some of the projects that we've got going, and I don't know exactly if I think they have forgiven some of the charges that we would normally have, and to the tune of $30,000.
Is that right?
And that's a big thank you too. It really is.
That's a tremendous
it is.
to all active city council members, current and probably
Right.
past ones. You've had a lot of cheerleaders
Yes.
over the years, Libby, over your tenure there.
Mhm.
And of course, share with the viewers about Rocky Fretz's vision and early stage, and of course how you all came to know each other.
Well, I think Rocky had a vision to start this because I think he probably experienced some drug problems years ago, and he wanted to reach out to other people, and I think basically that's why he started this mission. I met him over the internet. I'm originally from Tupelo, Mississippi, and we used to talk every night because we both got off from work at the same time. And I was going through some pretty bad times myself because I had lost a son, and he was just like a counselor for me.
Wow.
And when I discovered that my job was going down, the chemical company that I worked for was going everywhere except Mississippi, I started looking around for what was I going to do for the rest of my life. And I got in touch with the mission, and I told them that I had a heart for the mission and I wanted to work with women. And he said, well, that's kind of strange because we've been looking for someone. So it just worked. And Rocky said, when can you come? And I said, Thursday.
No.
Yes, I left immediately, came
You
out.
left Mississippi.
Yes.
And came straight to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Had
Yes.
you ever been to Myrtle Beach?
My family lived at Pawleys Island when I was 10 years old, and that's been quite a few years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years back.
Yes.
That's right.
So, but I had never been to Myrtle Beach that I could remember.
Right.
And so he interviewed me, and he said, go home and think about it. And I said, I don't have to. I said, I'll be back next Thursday. So I went back to my plant manager, and I asked him to lay me off. And he said, why? I said, well, you're laying everybody else off. You know, lay me off. I want to move to South Carolina and operate a homeless shelter. without pay. And I said, if you lay me off, that'll give me a few pennies.
Right.
And I did draw my unemployment for a couple of months, but then I said, if I'm going to do this on faith, I don't need that unemployment, and I'm not available to work anyway. So that's how it started, and it's been an awesome relationship.
Golly, Libby, that's a powerful story. Probably not too many people come in contact with situations where they can say, I'm ready to go.
Right.
But I guess you have to be ready.
You do. You really do.
To Mission of the Homeless.
But one thing I didn't tell my family, they would have put me away. I didn't tell them I was coming out here without salary because I had just bought a brand new pickup truck. But it has just worked beautifully.
How'd you pay for the pickup truck?
They paid for it. Rocky said, we can help you with your truck, but we can't pay you a salary.
We can't pay you a salary, but we can help make truck
Right.
payment.
Well, it wasn't very much back then.
No, but still,
so,
yeah. There was at least, they knew whatever they could do to get you here, and your
Right.
excitement level probably got them excited.
Well, he did want my computer brought here, too. So, you know.
He was chatting with you a little closer.
Yes.
That's right.
But he's a great guy.
He is. Do you get to see Rocky often? Does he get to I know he's so busy, and of course he I guess he's no longer with the Carolina Opry.
No, well, he plays.
All the time. Yeah, he's not there all the time.
He
though.
plays,
Yeah.
I think, prior to the show.
Good, yeah.
And occasionally we get to go down and see him. But
Right.
the first time I heard him play the piano, I was just totally spellbound.
He's started, yeah,
and
amazing.
and for him to have a heart for the homeless and for people who are really hurting, that's awesome.
I mean, that's a powerful piece to be involved with folks that literally can't claim a roof over their head or can't even, I guess at some level, contemplate it. Do some folks who come in, do they remember the last time they claimed they had a home, or it's person to person?
You know, it's strange that most people think the homeless are lazy, don't want to work, but that's not the case. They're very educated. They're college graduates, some of them. They're chefs, they're psychologists, they're different fields of work that you just wouldn't think people like that would end up homeless, but they do. So it's been an awesome experience to help people get back into society and to begin living again free from alcohol, free from drugs. And the new building is going to help us to help more people.
Drugs and alcohol almost always have something to do with how they got from being psychologists or
Right.
being educated folks or just hitting tough times into very tough times. Or drugs and alcohol almost always apart?
Yes, it is. And it's due, in fact, one of the classes that we had today, a lot of the homeless people have experienced tragedies in their families, in their lives. One gentleman has lost his whole family in a fire. A lot of times it's divorce, a lot of times it's sexual abuse. It's so many reasons that a person is homeless. They don't know how to cope with it. So they start drinking to cover it up, to hide the pain. Then they get tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they start asking for help. And that's where we come in.
That's tremendous, Libby. That's powerful. Phone number again, 843-626-3643 for someone who wanted to call now and find out how they could make a difference. Do you ever have folks come in and volunteer, Libby? Is there anything that anyone can do?
Absolutely. Answer the phone.
Really? To
It
come in and help?
rings 24/7.
Does it ring? No,
Yes,
come on. Is
yes,
it ringing all the
does.
time?
It rings constantly.
Well, now, and why? You know, folks would say, "Well, if someone's homeless, how are they?" I mean, you know, why is it ringing all the time? Because folks want to help, They want to make a donation, or they just want to?
They're
need
looking for a
shelter?
place to live.
Okay, so they're calling from anywhere at the beach. They're
Right.
finding a phone and saying, "Where can I go?"
Right.
And folks often say, "Call Miss Libby."
Call Miss Libby.
Yeah,
Yes.
call Miss
Call
Libby.
Street Ridge. The telephone system among the homeless is amazing. It's ask whoever's standing on the corner or whoever's hanging out at the soup kitchen or somewhere, they'll tell you where to go. Street Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there.
Now, there's probably quite a bit. We just have a couple of minutes, Libby. There's probably quite a few times where you can't. I mean, where you actually have to turn folks away.
Yes. This is
What
where
happens? Yeah.
they sleep under a bridge or wherever they can if the police don't find them. But that's where the new building is going to come into play, and that's what we're trying for right now, is to get that building up as soon as possible.
What can viewers do right now? They can call, make donations. You'll
Make
take donations of
donations.
all levels. How about getting the word out? Is it
Yes, this
Word of
is a
mouth?
$1.2 million project,
okay?
and we have a special bank account set up for those donations. And if they do send a check, please designate that it's for the building fund
Okay.
rather than operating expense,
Right.
because
Right.
that's what we're trying to do.
But you sure don't want folks to lose track of operating expenses.
No.
If there's some way, if they were
That's
going to make a
true.
$50 donation, would you encourage them to split it up? Half of the. I mean, I'm just wondering. Would you?
Whatever
encourage
their
folks-
heart tells
Sure,
them.
sure. So oftentimes it is purely to make sure
Right.
that someone gets food in their
Yes.
body and can have a roof over their head and keep y'all's electricity on and other
Yes.
things going. But at the same time, the future is not. I mean, it's coming up fast.
Yes, it is.
You're going to need that.
We hope we're going to be in that building by July
of
7.
07.
Yes.
Wow, the building fund must be moving pretty dang fast.
Well, it is. We just got a lot of faith.
Praise the Lord. That is
We
wonderful.
just have a whole bunch of faith.
Golly, Libby, that's tremendous. Really.
When we started this, when this first came up, I told Mr. Jackson, I said, I don't care what goes in that building as long as I have a bathroom in my office. And he just laughed. And in putting the plans together, they forgot an office for my assistant, and he just kind of looked at me and he said, well, I guess you took your bathroom. That's it. That was his office. But we've had a lot of good laughs and good talks over it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Libby, I think I saw in reading about you that at age 15, you were homeless. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
What does that mean at age 15 you were homeless? I mean,
It means that I came from a dysfunctional family, and I had a little part-time job, and I came home, and my folks had moved. And I was sitting in a park, and these two young girls came by and asked me, what are you doing there? And I said, well, I don't have anywhere to go. And there were two girls that my mother told me never to talk to because they lived on the other side of the track. But they let me sleep on their couch, and they got me a job and gave me a start.
love it. So we talked about, of course, alcohol and drugs, but as you say, dysfunctional families oftentimes can be what triggers homelessness and
Right.
what get folks there. So
Right.
do you remember those girls? Have you, are they still living? Have you seen them? Do you
Yes.
communicate with them?
Yes, I have seen them married, have children, living a good life. They were two girls of a family of 12. And I used to see them all, the husband and wife, walking down the street with all of their children. Amazing family.
Those are powerful words. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, Libby.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Libby Faulkner coming up next. Got to get that phone number out while we're thinking about it. 626-3643. That's 843-626-3643. StreetReachMinistries.org. Before I forget about it, think about that idea at age 15, coming home from your part-time job and your parents have moved. They haven't moved and told you about it. They just moved. They moved. And that aspect of two young girls inviting you in, something like that could surely trigger homelessness, and it did. Whether it's psychologists or college-educated folks or folks with no education at all, being in that same spot, knocking on the door at Street Reach Ministries or opening the door. You heard Libby talk about it. The doors are open virtually 24/7. The phone is ringing 24/7. Folks want to know, how can I end this? How can I get out from underneath the bridge or out of the woods or out of this box? How can I get out of it? It's that phone call. It's that knocking on the door. It's the door that opens. It's the Street Reach Ministries door. Give them a call. Libby wants to hear from you. 843-626-3643. Of course, if you can go online, you're probably not homeless right now. If you're sitting at home watching TV, you might not be. But someday you might be. You just never know what can happen. Give them a call. Make a difference. Support Street Reach Ministries.